Shalom Lech Lecha, Tavshin Pei Dalet. What a beautiful parsha. We read this parsha and we begin with Hashem telling Avram Avinu those words, Lech Lecha, time to leave. Leave everything you know, leave everyone you know, leave everything that you've done in the past, wherever you've been. Lech Lecha Me'artzecha, leave your land, leave your everything you have done before. Time to move on and to go where? El Haaretz Asher Areka. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avram Avinu, go to the land that I will show you. So we've spoken about in the past that actually we see that the Torah never really tells Avram Avinu where he should go and where he should stop. But El Haaretz Asher Areka, we know, is referring to Eretz Yisrael, that when Avram Avinu would get there, he would know that this is the place. And in this week's Parsha, also very apropos for today's current events, for what's going on a little bit in the world today, it's in this week's Parsha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avram Avinu, Ki lecha u'lezaracha etnena, this land I'm giving to you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides who Eretz Yisrael should belong to and who is in charge of Eretz Yisrael. And Hashem said, Avram Avinu, your children, Klal Yisrael, your children down the line, they're going to be the owners, they're going to be the people that are going to inhabit and live and own Eretz Yisrael. And obviously over the years there's been many, many people, many nations, many haters that along the line, along throughout history, that they deny this. And really a lot of it is jealousy, a lot of it is unfounded, of course, but there's a lot of hatred. But we always have to remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised it to us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised it to Klal Yisrael. And really at the beginning of the parsha begins with beautiful brachos for Avram Avinu. Everybody wants to know, how can you get brachos in your life? People run around the world, they run around tzaddikim, cities, cemeteries, wherever they go around the world to get brachas, to be able to be blessed by either tzaddikim or whatever it might be. And the Torah in this week's parsha tells us something very beautiful. After Hashem says to go to Eretz Yisrael, to leave, Hashem tells Avram Avinu that I'm going to make you into a great nation. And in addition to that, you need to know that there's a fact here that anyone who would bless Avram Avinu, V'avarcha mevarchecha, if you give Avram Avinu or his descendants, you give them a bracha, then you will be blessed. And anybody who curses Chas v'Shalom, Klal Yisrael, Avram Avinu, the children of Avram Avinu, descendants of Avram Avinu, they will be cursed. The pasuk says that. Hashem says, those who bless you, I will bless them. Chazal tell us in Bereshis Rabbah Lamed Tes that the words in the pasuk Veheyeh bracha, right? We know the pasuk says, those who bless you, I will bless. Those who curse you, I will curse. And the pasuk adds on, Veheyeh bracha. So Chazal and Bereshis Rabbah tell us that it was a phenomenal thing that anyone who saw Avram Avinu, if you just looked at Avram Avinu, you would get a bracha, you'd be blessed. Anyone who did any kind of business transaction with Avram Avinu, you would automatically be successful. That's what bracha was. That's the kind of bracha that came out of Avram Avinu. You saw him, you had a bracha. You did business with Avram Avinu, your business was blessed. So basically, anyone who had anything to do at all with Avram Avinu would receive a bracha. So Nesivos Shalom asks over here, why was it that just Avram Avinu, I mean, it's a phenomenal thing. Be in contact with somebody, hang around someone, do business with someone, automatically you're going to be blessed. And that, for some reason, was unique to Avraham Avinu. Why was it only with Avraham Avinu that if you came in contact with Avraham Avinu, you would receive automatic bracha? Why not any of the other avos? Why not by Yitzchak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu? Why not by any of the Shvatim or others? Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen? Why wasn't it that way, that if you just had contact with them, there was bracha swirling all around them? Any contact, that was just unique to Avraham Avinu. So Nesivos Shalom explains that we have to understand what was the root of the bracha that completely surrounded Avraham Avinu. You know what that was? What was unique about Avraham Avinu? And we all know famously that the unique midah, the unique thing that surrounded, that was Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu exemplified the midas HaChesed. And the Nesivos Shalom tells us that a person has to know that Chesed, and it's something which everybody who's sitting here in this room, everybody who has anything to do with Bikur Cholim, anybody who has anything to do with what goes on here in this building, everybody knows that Chesed, there are many midos, and there are many good things a person can do, but Chesed is the foundation of the world. The Pasuk says in Tehillim, Ki omarti oilam chesed yiboneh. The world is built. The world was built on chesed. And although all the midos and different good things you could do are actually building blocks of the world, but the midah of chesed is the yisoid. It's the foundation of all the other midos. It's the foundation of the world, what we know as the building, the world. The world sits on chesed. And Chesed comes along with Midas Ahava. As we know, you read through Chazal, you read through different Mefarshim, Chesed and Ahava go together. And really, this Yisoid, that everything revolves and stays on Chesed, this Yisoid is actually for Ruchnius and for Gashmius, that both of those things stand on Chesed. The Tachlis of the Avodah of every person, we know, we say it every day in Krishma, S.S.S.S. The Tachlis is to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? We say that pasuk in Krishma, and to strive for Midas HaChesed. That's the job of every single Yid. And that is really the foundation of all the Torah and the mitzvahs. Chazal teach us that the pasuk of Laleches B'chol Derachav. We have a mitzvah to go in the ways of Hashem. Uledov kaboy. We have a mitzvah to go in the ways of Hashem and to cleave and to stick to Hashem. That pasuk in Devarim Yud Aleph, it teaches us to be misdabek. How does one connect to Hashem? We connect to the midos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We try to emulate Hashem. And we know, the Gemara tells us, just as Hashem is Rachum, Hashem has mercy on people, on the things that He created, so too a person should be the same. You should have Rachum, you should have mercy on anyone that you come in contact with. And the same is all for all the other midas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rachum, after that comes Chanun, Erech HaPayim, all those things, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has those midos, and we are supposed to emulate Hashem and have those too. We attempt to do all these midos, and every one of these midos, says in the Nesivos Shalom, really revolves around Chesed. Take the mitzvah, that's an easy one, right? I mean, not an easy one to do, but it's an easy one to understand. We know it's Klal Godol B'Torah. And that, of course, we know, is tied, of course, to Chesed. And that is the Ruchnius side. And on the Gashmius side, how does the world revolve around Chesed? We look around, and a person has to understand, we have to always be cognizant of the fact that nothing in this world, and nothing that we do, and everything that happens to us is because of the Chesed of Hashem. Without the constant chesed of Hashem, we would not be able to live. We would not be able to live a moment. And just because something happens today, there's no guarantee that it will be tomorrow. So Hashem constantly takes care of our needs, as the pasuk in Parshas Bereshis that we read a couple of weeks ago. The pasuk says, "Eile toldos hashamayim v'ha'aretz bihiboram." When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created them. So it says in the Nesivos Shalom, the letters of, it says, Eila toldos hashamayim v'ha'aretz bihiboram, is the same letters as the words of Avram. That the schus for the continuation of the entire world is in the schus of the midah of Avram, the midas HaChesed. So it says, Eila toldos hashamayim v'ha'aretz, meaning that Sai Hashemayim tells us that all things ruchnius, and V'aretz tells us that all things of Gashmius, all of them are in the schus of the Midas HaChesed, the Midah of Avram Avinu. The Kabrina Rav, Schus Yagen Aleinu, says something unbelievable. And he says that any day which a person does not do a Maisa Chesed for someone else is not considered a day that you live. Kabrina Rav, not me. He says it's an unbelievable thing. He said, if you do not do a chesed, which is the foundation of the world, which is how the world keeps going, if you do not do a chesed one day, it's not considered a day of life. A person has to wake up in the morning every day, say, what can I do for someone else today? And you don't want to wait till the end of the day. You want to make sure you're living that day of life. You have to constantly be thinking about it. The Shlach Kadosh also, Masechta Psachim, brings from a pasuk too, and he says the same idea, that a person must do chesed every single day. And the reason chesed is singled out is for that reason, because we said it's the yesod of the world. Olam chesed yibane means that there are other good things to do. There are other midos, but it's all built on chesed. Chesed is the foundation of the world. And that is the unique idea of the bracha that surrounded Avram Avinu. We wanted to know why Avram Avinu was different than any of the other avos, the Shvatim, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen, anyone else, because Avram Avinu exemplified that midah of chesed. And really, every single one of us, this idea of bracha that Kadosh Baruch Hu gave to Avram Avinu was passed down from Avram Avinu to his children, to Yitzchak, to Yaakov, to the Shvatim, and by extension to us too. So a person's you're looking how to bring bracha in your life, how to bring hatzlacha in your life. Look, everyone that Avram Avinu had a contact in business, their business worked out. Everyone that had any sort of interaction with Avram Avinu, he was successful. So we want to know how to grab onto that bracha. The way to begin grabbing onto that bracha is to take on the midah of Avram Avinu. Think about it. Think about making chesed a part of your life. If you make chesed a part of your life, and you're a descendant, of course, of Avram Avinu, then you should be zoicha to that bracha. And who doesn't want to be able to grab onto that? This is something the Torah tells us. It's a special magnetism, right? It's a special thing that bracha stuck to Avram Avinu. We want to feel the same way. We want the bracha to be able to stick to us. So it's something we can all think about when we read the parsha this week. When we learn, you sit down Friday night, learn a bit about the parsha. We always say, Mosai, when are we going to be able to reach L'maisei Avoisai? So we know the famous Nesivos Shalom. Nesivos Shalom tells us, we spoke about in past years, doesn't mean to be able to reach. Also means to be able to just touch. How can I just a little bit touch the midah of Avram Avinu? This week we have to think about chesed. And everybody should be zoicha, that if you make chesed a little more part of your life, think about others. Don't think about yourself first. You think about others, you'll be zoicha to have the brachos of Avram Avinu.